Hi, absolutely boiling in the UK. Just before I was doing some work before, and before that, I watched Ari Melber interview various people, ordinary people, about their opinions on Trump's response to coronavirus and what's happening to them. And he brought on people who were Trump supporters. Now, these weren't the crazy MAGA types, the real thickies who we all enjoy. These were pretty sensible, middle-class people with, businesses and so on. One of them said something really interesting. He said, people, Democrats and us, we see things differently. We see Trump differently. And Ari Melber says, well, what do you think? How do you think about Trump's done in his response to coronavirus? And the guy said he's done the best he can with the information he's got. Now, in the context of this interview, Ari wasn't really challenging people much. But I would love to him to say, what I would have said to the guy was this. This is the most, I'm a UK guy, as you know. I'm constantly hearing how America's got the best of everything. So it's going to have the best information, the best this, the best the other. So one assumes that Trump gets the best, receives the best intelligence on coronavirus. And we know that in January he was repeatedly warned about the pandemic and repeatedly ignored it. So how is that doing the best he can with the information he's got? How is it? We also have reason to believe, and I wouldn't surprise me, that Jared advised him not to stock up on PPE because it would spook the market. Sounds likely, doesn't it? Many times he ignored dire warnings about the pandemic. He ignored them. How is that doing the best possible for the American people with the information he's given? That's what I'd like to have asked this guy. How is it him doing the best? America is 26th in the world for testing. So when Trump sits there talking about lapping the world in testing and doing more testing than anybody else, it's a lie. It's an easily disprovable lie. Just Google it for yourselves. You're 26th in the world for testing per million population. Simple as that. And you've got the worst coronavirus response. If you look at your curve against the EU has got a recovery curve. Peak downward, like a Big Dipper, a roller coaster you call it. America hasn't. It's got quite a different curve. Yes, there's the peak, but now not only is it a shallow downward, and now it's peaking again. This is why the EU are considering banning Americans coming into the EU when we lift travel restrictions. Trump's lying. He's lying about the testing. He didn't do the best with what information he was given. The best information in the world, I repeat. He didn't do that. He's lying. And everybody needs to see that. He has caused the death of tens of thousands of Americans. He's a mass murderer. He's incompetent, a bungler and amoral.